Away from that now. Nigerian motorcyclist Ebaide Joy has raised allegations of ill treatment by Guinness World Records as she had applied to the world body for an opportunity to break the world record for the longest solo motorcycle journey by a woman. Joy, who made headlines when she rode to 20 African countries on a bike, plans to put her legacy on the lips of everyone as she plans to embark on a journey from South Africa to Kenya to complete the longest solo journey in Africa by a woman. This time, the ride is for a cause to raise funds for African female orphans.
If I was rejected because I don't qualify, that would make sense and I would accept it gracefully. But I was rejected because I couldn't afford to pay £10,000, which is over 20 million naira, for a service that my journey doesn't even qualify for. In their own website, they stated that the only people who qualify for business consultation are government agencies and charity. But my journey doesn't fall under any of those categories, and I proved it. Then I requested a refund as there was no valid reason why I was being rejected. The next morning when I logged into my account, it was totally erased. Like I never even applied, like it never existed, like I don't exist. For a moment, it broke me.
A Nigerian motorcyclist Ebaide Joy herself joins me now from Senegal. Good to have you join us on the news at 1. Listening to you, sharing your story there. Talk to us about the journey.
Hi, thank you for having me. The journey has been great. Right now I'm in Dakar, Senegal, having fun, taking everything one step at a time, planning my next trip. So that's where I'm at right now.
I like the fact that you said you're having fun. So somehow you're not allowing the happenings around you to really distract you from your goal.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, then. So it's about, this your application, for the Guinness World Records, how it turned out. Talk to us about that experience and how it affected you, your quest to make a difference, really.
When I applied, I'd done a lot of research. I didn't foresee this happening, because in my head, I didn't think of it as something unfair. It's an international organization. I didn't see how it could be biased or unfair. So when I paid for the priority application, it was me trying to do it as soon as possible. I'd always planned to apply, but I wanted to do it just before I'm done with season 2, as that would make me sure that it's something I can actually achieve. I could have applied when I did season 1, which was Kenya to Nigeria, but I wasn't sure about the outcome. Everybody I cross, I'm amazed at how far I keep going, how things are working out. So I wanted to get to a particular stage, particular point before applying to be sure I can do it. South Africa to Kenya would be the least stressful season 3 of all 3 seasons I've done. Kenya to Nigeria was hard. Nigeria to Morocco, West Africa, but South Africa to Kenya would have been easier. So I thought if I could do these first 2 seasons, then definitely I can achieve this. And when I applied, the rejection was very surprising, because the 2 reasons they gave were not valid. They didn't make sense to me. It felt like Guinness World Records probably employed a new records manager to check, and the person didn't know what the database had. The person didn't know what kind of records already existed. So I had to tell them that, oh, these are the records that exist on your database. This is not me just applying for just about anything. And somehow they rejected me again. Not that they rejected me, it was a dismissive rejection. No explanation, nothing. It was just like, ugh, you don't qualify. Like when one smirks and dismisses you. And then I did tell them. I told them, because I got angry after the second reply, that I will go public if they don't give me a refund. That was why I was shocked the next morning when I opened the application and there was no application. The only way I even knew that my application was not a dream was the fact that my login details were still working. I could still log into my account, but it was like there was nothing there. On the website, I had my receipt of payments. I had all the conversations we had had. Everything had disappeared. That was when I got angry. That was when I was sure that I'm definitely going public, because I was like, how many other people have been on this too? It is so unfair. And that was exactly why I went public.
All right, Joy, but are you considering, is there any hope really of reapplying or getting back to that conversation with the body? Perhaps you could be given, some opportunity this time.
I am creating my opportunity by myself. I'm writing my own story. I'm redefining everything by myself. I do not want Guinness World Records title anymore. I'm so not interested. I did an interview with someone who said they know the CEO. I would talk to him. I do not want it. I'm not interested. If it is so unfair, then it's not something I want. Everything I stand for is integrity. I stand for fairness, no bias. If the system is that biased, I do not want it. I've somehow created APR, African People's Records. We are in the early stages. We are launching it on International Africa Day, which is May 25. That's my project now. That's my baby. That's what I want. We Africans, we write our own story. I do not want Guinness World Record. I don't want the title. I'm not interested.
Okay, but Joy, let's talk about, management and ensuring that whatever legacy you're hoping to set, is actually sustainable. How do you hope to do that to ensure that even years after, its launch, it's still, it's still of standard, it's something that can be trusted with integrity, and you don't have to have the kind of experience, for instance, that is sharing about Guinness World Records? And what is the level of acceptance it's receiving already from the African populace?
So when I announced, I was scared of announcing. I kept going through the idea of whether to do this or not. But I was shocked at the kind of reception I got, how people have been supporting. This is by public voting. African People's Records is not something that can be biased because Africans, I would keep giving information, but on the website, you would apply as a voter. It's something you apply for. When you become a voter, you get your badge, and then on the 1st of every month, we put out records, notable records, for instance. People vote. It is Africans that decide it, not someone high up, not someone on a horse high up and looking at us down. No, we decide it ourselves. For the measurable records, it will be fair and clear. The idea of this is born out of the fact that there is a bias system and we are trying to change that. So over the years, as long as it's something inclusive, we are making it inclusive for Africans. I believe it should be controlled. I believe it shouldn't get to the point of making it business like the other records. Yeah.
All right. And as you move along, I also do hope that the concerns you shared earlier about the borders, inability to access even as an African, would also be addressed. Joy Abaide, thank you very much for talking to us and the work you're doing with this journey of yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, let's take it now